Come on, October. Let everything work out. That's what we're hoping for in this circuit, man. Everything to work out for the World Series. It is July the 16th, and what are we in, 2020? Yeah, we're in 2020. Hey, very happy you guys joined us today on the Police Softball Podcast. I can tell you right now that I am extremely happy to be here. It's a celebration. Today's a celebration because we have another day. And I'm appreciative for the opportunity to come on this program and to be able to have my guest on board, to be able to talk about something that I've been really interested in for quite a few years now, and that's the seniors masters division, the 40 and over, I think it is. We're going to get some clarification on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And I'm really excited to be able to talk about that today. So anyway, appreciative for the day. Very happy to be here. We are going to get on with this show. I am Trinidad. I am a veteran of the Air Force, 23 years in law enforcement, just recently retired. I'm a two-time cancer survivor, a franchise business owner in a company called Biotex. It's a crime and trauma scene cleaning company. And I am also a nonprofit founder of an organization called Shields for Kids. It's a great organization that allows us as officers to go out in our off-duty time and to provide for kids in the community that are in need. We put the emphasis on being off-duty because it kind of takes away that whole stigma of, you're here because you have to be, because it's a part of your job. And, one of the guests that we have on today, my co-host, might as well introduce him now, Mr. Joe Monahan. He's been putting in some serious hours, working with the situation the way it is. He's been putting in tons of hours, tons of work. And Joe, I've seen some clips of some things that have been going on in your neck of the woods, man. And I want to just take this opportunity to thank you guys for your service, but more importantly, the way that you guys are handling yourself out there in your neck of the woods, man. You guys are doing a wonderful job. And so if you guys don't know, Joe is the coach of the Missouri Lawmen. He's the director of the Show Me Classic. It's be coming up here really soon. We're going to be talking about that here shortly. Had a great update from him here just a second ago. So I'm excited to be able to share what's going on with his tournament. He is the 2017 Texas Showdown Home Run Derby champion. And he is also the coach of the Louisville Slugger Masters Division team. So, Joe, welcome. Thank you very much for joining me again.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, man.
You forgot to mention the size of my head. You always call me out for having a monster head. I mean, I don't know why you didn't put that on on my little banner there at the bottom of the screen. But biggest head in the circuit or something like that. I don't know.
I promised you it's not me. But in fact, for the first time, I didn't get a text message reminding me to mention it. So it wasn't my fault. It's your team's fault for letting you down. But we're gonna work on that, girls. We're gonna make that happen. All right, I hear you, brother. How can I get one of them SA Law hats? You've had one in the past, but we're gonna work on this one because this is one of my favorite uniforms and one of my favorite hats. So we'll make
one thing when you were talking about everything you've been involved in and stuff like that at the beginning, you forgot to mention that you are a member of the Louisville Slugger Masters team as well. So you forgot to mention. I don't know why you left that off too, but we'll talk about that later.
I didn't know if it was 40 over or 50 over because I qualify for both, but we'll clarify that here in just a little bit. But yes, I am the newest member of the Louisville Slugger 40 and over. I think he's got me there just to keep the book, which he doesn't know yet. I don't know how to keep a book. So the guys will
trust me, I know that because I saw when I played with you guys out in Virginia Beach, I saw how you kept the book. You had a little scrap paper about 3 inch by 2 inch. And you had I don't know what the hell it was, but you had these little scribbles on there. I had no clue what the heck was going on. Nobody knew who was up to bat. I don't know what was going on, but
I do it in paragraph form, man.
Yeah.
Joe, first inning, got on with a double. That's how I do things. The guys hate it, but I'm just not good at that stuff. So, hey, I want to give a quick shout out. Albert, thank you so much for joining us again. Kathy Salazar, way to go from Dallas. She says, woohoo, can't wait for October. They head up there every year with us to the World Series. Manny, what's going on, Manny? Dan Potter, what's going on, Dan, from Cali? And Brandon West, thank you so much for tuning in, man. He wants you handing him cups of water and sunscreen for his head, man.
Yeah, you can rub sunscreen on my head, man.
Yeah, man. Hey,
thanks, Brandon.
They didn't let me down. Yeah, man. So I'm really excited to get the show on the road. One thing I want to mention real quickly is we do have a conference coming up, but right now it's difficult times, man. It's the, with the second spike of COVID and everything, people I understand are concerned about whether this thing's going to actually go off or not. But I know that it will either way. We do have a backup plan. Get your tickets. It's for April the 12th through the 14th. We'll make arrangements if for whatever reason it gets postponed. We'll either refund you your money, or when we push it back, it'll your ticket will still be good. It's going to be an awesome conference. It's a wonderful breakout sessions, badass breakout sessions, with some badass speakers that are going to be taking place there at the conference. So it's going to be a wonderful conference. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and bring our guests on. These guys have been on the show before. So without any further ado, we'll bring on Benji and we'll bring on Jeff, the Swami Blair. What's going on, fellas?
Hey, Trini.
All right, man. Excited to have you guys back. Just a quick little intro for Benji. Benji is the retired sergeant of the Chandler, Arizona Police Department. He is the first Shevy Wright Award winner. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, we've got a little picture here of that. He's a 2009 Police Softball Hall of Fame inductee, and he is the Dale Pickney Lifetime Achievement Award winner. Now, look at that, Benji there. Dude.
Hey, Benji, that beard looks like Blair's. It's nice and dark. And I don't know what happened to the beard.
Look at that cheap uniform that Gomez provided us. Look at that thing. That's horrible.
And then we've got Jeff, the Swami Blair. He's recently retired, Deputy Chief of the Tustin Police Department. He's been a police officer for 31 years, a lot of experience there. He is the co-founder, along with Dale Pickney, for the PS.com, policesoftball.com site. There you go. That's one of my favorite shirts. He is a 4-time Majors Division champion and a 2-time Masters Division champion. You see that pose right there? Check this picture out. He's also the 2013 PS.com Hall of Fame. Look at that bad boy right there. Dude, it's
nice shorts.
Hey, you know what, Jeff? I'll tell you what, dude. You are all you guys are in such great shape, man. And all you guys are going to be a part of the Jeff, you won't be playing in the Masters Division this year, right?
I haven't been playing in a few years. But if I were to play, the only thing I could play would be Masters. Although Co trumped me. Co's trying to get on a Masters team this year because he just turned 40. So I'll let him play and I'll stay in the booth.
Hey, Jeff, I don't think I've talked to you since, but congratulations on your retirement there, bud.
Thanks, man. The timing was just, I don't know if it's good or bad. I feel like I'm leaving. They always say the Boy Scouts, you're supposed to leave the campsite cleaner than when you got it. And I just feel like I'm leaving law enforcement in the places in disarray right now, but it's beyond my agency though. It's a national thing that I can't have any impact on. Defund the police and all this kind of stuff going on. So,
and I understand that feeling too, Jeff, because I sit here and I watch the TV and I feel like, oh man, I need to be out there. I need to be, doing, but 31 years, right? That's a lot of time put in.
I'm retiring all along. So it wasn't like, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, did you get out because of?" And the answer is no.
No.
I got out not because of what's going on now. Just coincidentally, shit hit the fan right when I retired. So.
Yeah, I hear you, man. And anyone that knows you knows that's not the answer. Just because of everything that's going on. So hey, that's the beauty of being on this show. Most of us know everybody in this circuit. So our reputations they stand on their own. Hey, we got Ollie McMillan Jr. What's going on, man? Mike Barker, what's going on, Mike? Mike is a very influential person in our community here in San Antonio. He has an organization called Hero Sports, and they provide a bunch of opportunities for these veterans, active and retired, to be veterans, to be able to go out, military veterans, to be able to go out and get some therapy, whether it be with hunts, fishing, sporting attractions. It's just an awesome organization. So Mike, thanks for joining us. My son, Trip, he's always here. In fact, I want you guys to know that Trip said he was really looking forward to this program because he likes you guys a lot. He was like, I like these guys a lot, and I'm looking forward to this program. I think that's pretty cool, man. Jimmy G, if my memory serves me correct, you purchased those. Nice try, Benji.
Hey. Jimmy G's on the internet? Wow.
No, Rhonda's on the internet.
I was going to say, Jimmy doesn't do this kind of stuff.
Hey, well, before we get started, we're here to talk about this Masters division. I'm really interested in it. A lot of people don't know what it's about. I don't even know everything about it. But is it 40 and over, Jeff? Is that right? Yeah. 40 and over? Okay, 40 and over. But before we head there, I think it's very important to share with you guys. And I'm going to be very, I'm going to get a little deep real quickly, and then we're on. Most people know about my situation with cancer, a couple bouts with cancer, and it's been a challenging last couple of days. And something that Benji and I share is dealing with a bout with cancer. There's something that Benji had that we have a picture of. It's a jersey. I thought it was really cool of when he was going, I think it was 2016, Benji, if I'm not mistaken, where he was going through a bout with prostate cancer. And this is that uniform that him and his team actually said, we want to let you know we're thinking about you. I think we have a picture of his team also. And yeah, look at that, man. What an awesome, awesome feeling. I know I felt the love when I've gone up. Picture. Oh, dude, I felt the love when I went up there and was going through what I was going through from the whole circuit. How important is it, Benji, to be able to have, this event in October, the World Series, and you're able to go there and just feel that love and that support from everybody, within our circuit?
That was the first year I played with SenCal, and Ruben had asked me, and I had no idea that was going to happen. I show up, I'm given a white jersey like everybody else, and we go to walk on the field, and Ruben and the rest of them take their white jerseys off with that jersey on. You talk about, and I'm not an emotional person, but I was a little speechless and taken back by seeing all of that. And then that right there probably is one of the best pictures or photos that I own. Yeah. Having that photo, awesome. Right?
Yeah. It's hard. If we show that picture one more time, it's hard that you're casting a shadow on 3/4 of freaking Ruben there. That's a big dude. But, you had prostate cancer. A quick PSA, man. Something that you'd like to share with everyone.
Real quick, get your PSA number checked, because that's really the only way you're going to know if you have it or not. I probably thought in the back of my mind I did have it after going to the doctor. I waited. When I did get the results, I put it off until after the World Series to have the surgery, but that was because the doctor said it was okay. But everybody, once you turn 40 years old, you need to get checked, and you need to get checked every year, because if your PSA number starts going up, then you have to worry about it. The way the doctor explained it to me, every male at some time in his life is going to get it. If you get it and treat it quick enough, then you'll be okay.
Yeah, those are powerful words, man, because anybody's had the opportunity to talk to Benji, play against him, play with him. I was at this last Hall of Fame game. I was fortunate enough to be on his team. You see this dude, man, type A personality on the field, 100%. And here's this man telling you, you need to go, make this happen. So heed his words, make it happen, man. Think about not only yourself, but of course, everyone around you, all that love you. So anyway, I'm glad you shared that, Benji. Thank you. And I appreciate you, allowing us to share that, to show those pictures. So, all right. So here we go. We are going to be talking about the Masters division, and something I'm going to lead off with is a video. And you guys check this video out. A couple of things I want to point out. There's a double play with Benji in there. We're talking about Masters. And so sometimes people will associate Masters or seniors with like slower, a little lethargic. Maybe they're out there. No, man, you're about to see a video that's going to show these dudes are sharp. There's a young Dan Potter in this video. That's going to be interesting. We got the hustle around the bases, quick reactions by a pitcher. We even got a Jeff Blair hit in here. And what I love about this is when you see the celebration at the end, you see all these uniforms coming together, man. I think that's so cool, man. The amount of history and experience that's there, and they're all on the field sharing it. So let's cut to this video quickly. a 2012 Dan Potter right there. Man, so what do you think, Jeff? We had to do a little bit of research. We found it. We put some clips together. Man, some sharp plays out there, man. If people think about the Masters, I don't think they're thinking that you can turn some plays like that, man.
No, that's funny. So I forget what year we started. I think we started in 11. But anyway, so Masters used to have more teams. There was a lot more teams, and Benji was playing with us that year. And it's funny, the Quake beat us, and the Quake and my old team, the Alliance, had this big rivalry going forever. And I remember, I can say it now. I'm sure he's not listening, but Ron Connor. So we were getting beat. The Quakes were going to beat us. They were up, whatever. It was going to be a run rule or something. And Connor comes up with like the winning run on third or something. And me and Benji and Buck get together. We say, Connor's been an asshole all weekend. Let's walk him. And let him beat us. So we walked him and we let left beat us. Remember that, Benji? That was funny.
That's exactly what we did.
We still love the guy, but that particular weekend he was on our shit list. So we walked him, didn't let him get the walk-off hit. That's why he's liking the video now.
Yeah. So, man, clarify for us then, what are some rules that make, the Masters division different than, open play or regular play?
Okay. So I'm going to defer to Benji on that, but I'll tell you about the history and then I'll defer to Benji on the rules because a lot of the rules you see now is Benji related. So,
Gotcha.
So when we were running the World Series early on, I was in my prime, like a 34-year-old dude, right? And I started seeing a bunch of people who were my age as we aged, getting closer to 40. The elder guys on the team, as the teams got better, were getting relegated to bench roles and stuff. And I was seeing guys not come to the World Series anymore because they didn't want to, come out and ride the bench and stuff. So I started talking to Dell. I said, let's start a Masters division for all those guys who are getting put out to pasture on their teams. Like because these were dudes that I played against, guys on the Michigan Lawmen, all these, these Ohio Lawmen, the Michigan Lawmen, all these guys, New York Metro and stuff that were finding themselves without a home. So we created the Masters division. I think the first year we did it, we had like 14 teams or something in Masters. And I said, man, this thing is going to absolutely blow up. So long story short is I didn't know much about Masters at the time. I think I just turned 40, but Benji had been playing it a couple of years. So a lot of the rules that you see in place, and we've tweaked them each year a little bit more, were Benji related. So I'll let Benji talk about the rules.
So in senior softball, depending on your division, you're only allowed to score so many runs per inning before you automatically switch. So if you play Major Plus as a senior, you can score 7. If you play the Major Division and below, you can score 5. So that was one of the things we decided was let's limit the amount of runs we could score per inning. And then after I think the first couple of years when the pitchers were kind of getting beat up and they didn't want to get injured before they played in the open, we decided to close the middle just like they do league at BLD. So we closed that. We tried senior bats, which I wish we would come back to one year, but there were a lot of complaints about people with the senior bats because senior bat's a lot hotter than a regular bat. But I think we tweaked the home run rules so that there were a lot more home runs. And, then we played an open inning at the end, which they do in seniors. So the very last inning is an open inning. You can score as many runs as you want, but we limited the other innings to 5 runs per inning. And if you don't get them out, then you just switch.
Yeah. And I've seen it in civilian ball. I've only played in like one tournament but I'm almost, if I'm not mistaken, is it in our circuit where you need round third, you can't go to home plate, or are we still going to home plate?
No, there's a commitment line. If you pass the commitment line, which is halfway down third, then you're required to go home. But home plate no longer is sliding. It's a force play. So say you got the 5th run on third base and you got a runner at first and there's no outs, you might turn a double play from second to home because home's a force out to keep that 5th run from scoring. So there's not going to be anybody getting ran into at home plate, and there's no sliding at home. It's just a force out.
Yeah.
There was a couple issues last year in the Masters tournament where there was a couple umpires weren't on the same page, and we played one game and it was plays at the plate, and then the other game was the line. So there was a little inconsistency there, but I think they all got on the same page after the first couple games. But yeah, that was actually, I don't think did 2 years ago, did we play with the line or no?
Last year might have been the first year that was the problem.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, we changed it just the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And when we had the senior bats, so we had the senior bats one year and we closed the middle, and more pitchers got hit than ever. And I remember I feel bad. The Shamrocks pitcher, real good pitcher, he got blown up, and the whole thing was like, all right, so the batter's out, but now I lost the pitcher for the rest of the tournament, so that's why we went away from the senior bats.
So
that's not a bad idea. I you know, it's whether it's wood bat or senior bats, whatever. To me, it doesn't matter. But I think you don't want to lose somebody like that. But Benji, why were you saying that you think you'd like to go back to the senior bats?
Well, if the tournament was on Sunday, would anybody care if they got blown up? But when we moved Masters to the beginning of the week, then we worried about guys getting hurt. We had forfeits in the beginning because teams were like, no, our guys are beat up. We start the Open tomorrow. We don't want to finish it. We didn't have any of those issues when we played on Sunday. The only issue we had is, were guys going to show up because they had to catch a flight to go home? So I think if we're going to play true seniors, you can play 40 and over and swing a senior bat. The hardest balls ever been hit at me have been hit by a 40-year-old with a senior bat. I'm okay with that because I play it all the time. I just think that it makes the game a little funner, and it makes it a little harder because you hit a ball with the senior bat, it's an automatic home run. If you're out of home runs, that's an out. So you actually have to be able to swing down, hit the holes, and it's a little more competitive because you can't just swing for a bomb because you'll hit a bomb on a miss hit because senior bats are so good.
But then you get a guy like Jerry Whelan who's out there swinging a senior bat, and he already hits the ball 112 miles an hour with just a regular bat. You know what I mean? So,
and I totally get it, but I think if he goes and plays on the civilian senior circuit, he's going to swing a senior bat anyway.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, one of the things that it has been brought up about senior bats, you know, I think most guys feel like, man, I want to be able to have that, relive those glory days. And maybe for those that can't do it, it's like hitting that long ball again, maybe getting that hot shot, you know, and kind of like to Jeff's point, you know, as far as the guys coming back out that maybe have been put out in the pasture, the way you put it, you know, I think that does evoke some excitement. But at the same time, we think about, you know, the safety of each other and all out there. But, you know, that has been brought up, the senior bats. Now, what I like about what you're saying is in a civilian circuit, it's a little more aggressive, cutthroat. Maybe, you know, everybody's coming in, they're going home. With our circuit, I feel like it's a little different, but I have seen it where, you know, different teams will say, hey, middle's a part of the game, man. That's just, you know, part of it. But it seems like most people are like, yeah, you know, we want to go home at the end of the weekend. And also, but I like and entertain the senior or the Masters division in our circuit because I don't feel like we're dealing with that as much. You guys play a lot of, or Benji, you played civilian ball. Do you feel like that same way as far as like it's a different beast out in the civilian circuit as opposed to ours?
Oh, there's a definite difference. But one thing I will say is when guys turn 40 and they get a little older, I think that whole middle showdown kind of stops. I don't think their egos and their attitudes are the same to where they want to go after another pitcher. I think at least in the senior circuit that I've played, if you hit a ball up the middle, you kind of just apologize or acknowledge that you did. And I don't think there's middle wars, just like there's not middle wars in law enforcement. If usually a guy's like, hey man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go there, and everybody understands. But I think as long as you have a leader on your team who doesn't allow it, and you don't start a middle war, because you're right. If you have a middle war with the senior bat, it'd be real easy to hurt somebody.
I can't remember a time that a shot hasn't gone up the middle that the guy running down first base that hit it was like, hey man, sorry about that. I can't remember a time that hasn't happened in our circuit.
Very rarely happens in law enforcement.
There's been one instance that I can remember where it did happen, and the guy on the other team actually called out our pitcher and told him to get ready because it's coming. And then he hits a 3-hopper to the pitcher and grounds out. And then after he did that, the coach, I don't want to mention names or anything, but after he did that, the coach kicked him off the team. He ain't been back in the circuit since. So
I would have
it was, you don't see that often, but one time in the last 10 years I've seen it. So.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, so we'll answer a quick question. Brandon West says, senior bat with the screen option. What do you guys have to say to that?
I'm totally against the screen, but I get where guys are. I think it's harder for the pitcher, and I think you have a lot more walks when you have a pitcher pitching behind the screen. Let's face it, senior softball makes you wear a mask just like we do, and most of the pitchers wear shin guards anyway, and they can usually cover the middle of their body with their glove. Everybody that I play with doesn't like the screen option, but I know you SSSA's seniors is going to the screen option.
I'm not a fan of the screen either. I've played in leagues that they've had screens, and it not only the things that you've mentioned, but also, you know, out in the field. Let's say you got a guy on second base, the ball's at the center field. You got a good chance of probably making it home. Whether you're fast or slow, you know, because you got a screen there kind of blocking the throw coming in. Just it's a one little instance, I guess, that it could affect the game, but that's another reason in my mind. I'm not a fan of it as well.
I think we're already pushing the limits with the modifications to the rules. With, you know, now we don't have home plate. Now when the middle's closed, now there's a limit per innings and stuff like that. It's getting to be to where it's like that old MTV rock and jock softball game, to where now we're going to put like obstacles out in the field, and you hit. It's like miniature. We took like I'm a traditional guy, right? So you take the game of golf and we turned it into miniature golf, right? Where we're jumping over humps and trying to get in the dragon's mouth and stuff. So I think the less you do to modify the rules, just generally the better.
Yeah, wasn't there a 10-run ball that they put into the game for one batter?
Like that, yeah. Like we're becoming like the ABA of basketball or something, with the red, white, and blue balls and these crazy rules and stuff. So,
yeah, Dan is saying the screen is just a false sense of security. That's my 2 cents. Yeah, you got a lot of experience, Dan. We got a couple of little clips that we're gonna show here, and the thing that I like about these clips are just a couple of plays that have taken place in the Masters division as we talk. But the thing I've always been impressed with is you see a guy show up, maybe older looking dude compared to others, and I remember when I first started playing, I was like, oh man, this is an old dude, man. We got this dude, and man, that dude just plink, 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 solid foundational, ball where he just doesn't make errors, and it was one dude that showed up in jean shorts one time. He's like jean shorts, a leather belt.
He did that on purpose, man.
Dude, that's the first time I was like, whatever, man, I got this dude. And I was playing every day except Wednesday at that point. And this dude showed up. I was like, I got this dude, man. That dude schooled me. And that's when I first had an appreciation for all right, man, these old dudes, they got a little experience. They don't have to hit the bombs, man. They eat. You can't get the guy out.
Well, and let me chat about that for a second, though.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Like, I think that one thing we're overlooking is like, people say, hey, these seniors need, this is counter to Benji, so we'll disagree on this. The seniors need help with the bats. And I'm thinking that's the last thing these guys need, because like the strongest I've lifted weights my entire life. I competed in powerlifting my entire life. The strongest I ever was age 43. And plus I'd been playing a lot more softball, so I was a better hitter. So I was a better hitter at 43 than I was at 33. So why are you going to give me this like ultra hot bat now? Right. So, I mean, I get it when guys get, say, mid-50s or something like that, but I think that, like, when you think, like, our idea of the old guy is what you just described, Trini, where the new 40, these dudes are in good freaking shape nowadays. Like Jerry Boyd, like, that guy's close to my age, and you watch that guy run the outfield, he's one of the fastest guys out there. When you look at these guys, like Ryan Coe is now 40 years old. Like, that guy doesn't need a hot bat. So, I don't know. I think that I think in our mind, we envision what we think a 40-year-old or 50-year-old should look like. And the reality is the 40 and the 50-year-old guys are stronger, in better shape than some of these young guys.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. In fact, we got a few pictures I think we're going to show us some of these guys. And, you may see these guys in these photos, these team photos, because we have different teams. If y'all don't mind calling them out when we show them. Yep. We've got some, I think there's one that's like there you go. Jeff.
That's the old 40 Cal Alliance. There's Benji in there. I'm in the picture. That was a great tournament. We had so many good memories. We went to Jacksonville, and what made that tournament unique is that was a standalone 40 and over only tournament, and they would draw 16 teams. Wow. And that was a point I was hoping you guys were going to bring up. As Benji was talking about, do you attack Masters on before or after the World Series? And in a perfect world, in my opinion, you do Masters on an entire different weekend, and we'll just crush it. But then it's 2 trips to Vegas, and it's, so. But that Jacksonville is a good example. 16 teams. Remember that, Benji? Checking out alligators and stuff. That was a lot of fun.
Actually, if you put that picture up again, look at Tully. He's in shape.
I was just gonna say that's a Tully's son.
Tully was in shape back then.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Jeff, I like what you're saying, because one of the things when Joe was talking about, we're looking for different players, kind of talking about different positions. It is a concern as a coach. Like, man, I've got this guy and he would fit perfect for this position, but what's that going to do to us in the open division? And it is something that these coaches do have to, consider going into the weekend.
So one thing I'm looking at doing potentially is I don't want to. I mean, I'm retired now, right? So I got free time on my hands. Is maybe running a Masters World Series at a different date, different time, and just making it all Masters and doing something similar. You know what I mean?
I think that's awesome.
I love that idea, man.
If you guys got some,
I think you get a lot of teams doing that. I really do.
I mean, because so Big League Dreams likes me. I mean, I can pick a date and stuff like that. I just don't want to conflict with so many other tournaments are out there. But at the same time, I think a standalone Masters tournament would crush it.
I agree. I agree with you 100%. I think that if it doesn't have to be back-to-back weekends with the actual World Series, the Open World Series, but I think that if you do that, I think you kill it, man. I think
absolutely
you'd get several. You get 20 plus teams there.
Yeah. And you know what's cool about that, Jeff? That idea is that you're not putting your team at any risk for injuries or anything like that. I mean, as far as bumping up to the Open, but it also gives us our own vibe, man. It's like its own feel. And I think that's neat in itself, man. Being able to go and like, all right, man, all these cats been around for a while, and it's a different kind of socializing, and it's a little more intense as far as like really being able to sit down within our circle of 40 and over, if you will, man. I really enjoy. I really like that idea, man. If you got an idea on that, please tune up. Yeah, Matt Bolin says yes.
I mean, I can always use the West Conference dates, but then we lose an Open tournament, or Big League Dreams is going to give me whenever I want. I mean, they're good. You know what I mean? They like us and stuff. If we get a Friday, Saturday, or something, but I just remember Benji, I'm sure remembers, just like that Jacksonville tournament for Masters was a big deal. And there were 16 teams there. And we had it was just a very, very fun tournament because it was all old dudes. And it wasn't like, I mean, we were freaking competitive, man. I mean, it's every bit what you see in the Open. We're just a couple steps slower and stuff. But
who ran that tournament in Jacksonville?
Yeah, hitting wise, the Masters guys hit every bit as good as the Open guys.
Robbie ran that, right, Jeff?
Yeah,
Robbie used to be the old Jacksonville coach.
Okay.
So I mean, maybe I'll do like, I don't know, West Covina or maybe Cat City in the spring, or Palm Springs.
I think that's a wonderful message board topic, also, man, to get some feedback on that.
A lot of old people out there, and they have a lot of senior specials for breakfast.
Yeah. So Jim says Masters World Series in March. It will give us time to recover for the regular World Series.
I like it.
And maybe look at Palm Springs in March.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
And we also need to look at it. If you're going to turn 40 during that year, like senior rules, you should be allowed to play.
We do that. That's
if you're going to be 40, then
31st. If you turn, so you can be 39 and be playing in the World Series.
Yes,
or whatever. Yeah, I listen to what you say, Benji. Whatever the same rules, I try to copy them. So,
yeah, that's awesome, man. I love that. Let's show a few more photos. So we got the one with Jeff. We got a few more teams. So what's this one?
So that Great Lakes had a Masters team, and I'm not sure what tournament that was from, but Great Lakes / Detroit had a good team too. And that
Mick Hunter, I haven't seen him in years. In the bottom left, right next to Wax, right. He's from the St. Louis area. He's a good guy.
Yeah, so that's the Great Lakes team. That's in Jacksonville also the following year.
Dan says, call it the Blue Hair Tournament.
Yeah.
Hey, well, so let me ask you this. So in the Masters, no state rules or anything like that, right? It'd be just sign up, join up with a team, and it gets everybody to come together.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for the most part. I mean, you want to. Here's the problem with this: is that like, there's always going to be somebody trying to build a monster team, right?
Yeah.
Trying to build this all-star team. We see it happen in the World Series, and if we do a standalone tournament, it'll definitely happen. So, I mean, I don't want to just blanket say, yeah, let's do it.
No,
but
I get it.
And the competition committee guys to see what they think about it.
Well, I like bringing it up on the show because it allows people to, get those ideas flowing and to be able to start contributing as far as this show is concerned. But I like that even if it was a regional thing, because we talked about that, maybe some regions, in there. I think that would be cool.
I think we need to do that because if you recall, Worm put together a team when we went to Virginia Beach one year, and the team that Worm put together was a very, very good team. And we ran through that tournament because we were from everywhere. So, yeah, we got to cut it down to 3-4 states, regions, or something, because otherwise
Midwest, South, East, West.
Yeah, I like that. Like Little League does, right? I like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that would be a neat thing. But the cool thing is that you at least throw it out there, you get some ideas going, and then people can comment on that. We got so Dan said, call it the blue hair tournament. Jim says, you mean no hair, Dan. All right,
Jeff, I love that idea, man. I really do. I think if you work on that, I think you get several teams that show up. Like you said, 16 back in Jacksonville. I think you beat that.
Yeah, so I'm kind of just in my head. I'm wrapping my head around what I thought about spring in Palm Springs, probably.
Yeah, I like
really
that.
Nice and it doesn't rain. So.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so let's see. What's this team here?
That's
Lockdown Lawmen?
Yep.
Yeah, that's Terry's team. That was the runner-up last year.
Dude, those guys.
The first game I ever watched. It was Lockdown Lawmen against Border Patrol Arsenal, and it was by far the most heated and competitive game of the entire tournament.
Yes.
What happened?
Man, we did that by design. So we wanted to make the Masters a little more lively because it used to be they just do it again on Sunday. There's only 2 teams left. So we purposely put the Masters Championship game right after opening ceremonies of the World Series, which means everybody was at the park and everybody had a lot of beer in them, which might have been a mistake because we had to have separated from the crowds and stuff. There was some people getting physically held back, but that game was off the hook. It was awesome.
No, there was nothing wrong with that, Jeff. I think that was a great idea. I like how you did that.
It was electric. I mean, to win the Masters, there they are right there, the champs, Border Patrol. Yeah. They won that game, and normally Benji's team wins every year. Every once in a while somebody else will step up. I think John Irvin's team won it one year, but to have the Border Patrol team win it was kind of like an upset, and to have them beat Terry's team, it was East against West, and it was just. Like I said, it was right after the opening ceremony, and the place was electric. It was like 8:00 on the Friday night of the World Series.
It was East against West, but I think I saw West on that East team. I'm just saying.
Yeah, just crowd wise.
A couple.
Okay, I got you. I saw Nate sitting in that front row.
He has all these Hall of Famers on Terry's team. So, yeah.
It's difficult for you guys because that definitely is the most intense crowd is going to be that opening night ceremony. Man, everything's going on that night. Man, everybody's there, and like you said, everybody's having a good time. And mixing and mingling. So it's hard because you want to highlight the home run derby, championship. The Masters. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you try to fit in on that one night. So I get that. Scott Hall says
just left. Man, we did $3,000 worth of free beer for everybody. So. The crowd was lubed up, and then we had, the announcer going with the music.
Oh, yeah.
It was a very intense game.
Oh, yeah. Scott Hall says, I'd love to come out and help you run that, man. Butch says, enough players for a 40 to 49 and a 50 on up.
Butchie, what's up, bud?
Oh.
Yeah, no, I think actually one of the episodes, a few episodes ago, someone mentioned something about changing it to 50 plus, and I personally don't like the idea. Obviously, I'm not 50 plus, and maybe I'm biased, but I think you do that, and I think you lose several teams if you do that. There's a lot of 40 to 49 year olds that play the Masters division, and I think, like I said, you limit it by doing that, and you're going to lose some teams.
Well, I don't know if we'll lose teams, but we're going to split divisions, and we'll lose teams that way because how many guys over 50 really are still around. There might be other guys that show up now, but I would rather leave it like it is and just play 40 and over.
I agree.
Dan says maybe do a super draft tournament. You will get the players that qualify but don't have a team. I don't understand a super draft.
I'll explain a super draft to you. So
Cool.
we tried to do it. We tried to get enough players to do it. They've been doing it in Arizona for about the last 10 years. You sign up, put your name in, you pick however many coaches you have, and they actually have a draft, the same as if you were drafting your own little league team. And they go across the board and then back down, and everybody puts what position they play. So the coach or manager, whoever's running the team, can see what positions these guys play, and you just basically have a draft. So nobody knows what team they're going to be on until the night before when they get a phone call from their prospective manager.
Wow.
So,
Man, I like that. That's interesting.
So you're going to get to play with guys that maybe you never would have got to play with before. And I mean, they've done it other ways where everybody showed up and stood out in the field, and it was like the schoolyard. You just started picking guys. But if you have a draft, you would actually be able to see it on a board and be able to pick your team.
Don't bring up the schoolyard, man. If you're the last one to get picked, well, scar you for life. Yeah, man. And that's interesting. You know, I mean, I'm not a tournament director like that, so I don't know anything about that, but it sounds interesting. I've never been a part of something like that. That's pretty cool. I know, Jeff, one of the things I want to bring up is some of the guys have talked about possibly doing a show here on the Police Softball podcast with the placement of the teams for the World Series. I know there's a lot of stuff that goes on, you know, on your end and all, but it's cool because at least people are starting to send messages and are like, hey, man, I think it'd be neat to be able to do something like that and have like that live drawing or the live draft or however they do it, but just post it and people can watch and see when they play and things like that. I don't know what you think about that, but I think it's pretty neat.
All for it. So normally, right when I release the brackets, I do them on the message board like a day at a time or something like that, just to build up the drama. I mean, I'm all for doing it live on here, and then I'll just copy and paste it onto the message board afterwards.
Hey, Jeff, you think the Zingbot would want to join us?
Oh my Lord, that dude was vicious.
That Zingbot, man,
doesn't have a heart.
You talking about being politically incorrect, man? That guy was blowing people up.
I think we need to. You know what I need to do is I need to make a note to get one of the Zingbots. If you can help me out with Jeff, bring one of your, you know, like the all-time favorite Zingbot, you know, hits. Okay. And that dude caused me a little extra stress, man. I didn't appreciate that much. It was out there.
That, man, well,
tell them what the Zingbot is, Jeff. Tell them what the Zingbot was.
So normally I would do like a bracket preview of each team. Hey, you know, the Louisville team, you know, they're scrappy, but they're, you know, they're not, their defense isn't the best. So, and then I do some other team like, hey, they got great pitching, but they're slow. So I try to do pros and cons on each team. And then I hatched the idea of the Zingbot, and all the Zingbot did was just blast people. So it was just like I'm making fun of people's names, and I mean, it really didn't have a whole lot to do with softball, but it was really politically incorrect. Like it's kind of stuff to where, like, man, should I really send it? F it, I'm sending it. Boom.
That Zingbot, man. He had this robot voice, so it was like really cold. There was no. It was cold.
The problem, it kind of made it neat though, because it only gave you like, I don't know, like 200 characters, right? So I had to get so every team got mentioned. And I mean, I like, and there's a lot of truth to it. Like I remember telling them about, like, you know, the West Coast United can't win because their fifth man, Eric Kent's got a skillet in his glove, and the hothead pitcher, John Coster, you know, something about, there's just so many funny ones on there. I remember making fun of Vic's team. They were the boys in blue, and the Zingbot said that they were an S&M team, and the boys in rubber was already taken, so they had to become the boys in blue.
So you got your alter ego a free pass to be able to come out and just say what.
It's a Zingbot.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah. So hey, on that note, I know we're pushing on 47 minutes. As far as this weekend, Joe, you want to tell everybody what we got going on for next show? Because we got the Cincy tournament coming up.
Yeah, so Cincy tournament's going on this weekend. I think think they got about like 12 to 14 teams that are going to be there, and we're going to next Thursday we'll do a show where we're kind of highlighting that tournament. We'll get some of the some video and stuff like that from the tournament. We'll play and you know, we'll talk to some of the guys that participated and get their thoughts on the tournament and how it went for their team and everything else, and that'll be next Thursday's show. And
that's what we're looking for, is like a recap, man. So if you got a tournament going on and you're willing to take some videos, some pictures, and you're able to, you know, like Jeff asked, you know, hey, do a little write-up for me, man, just so we can put something out on the circuit, you know, on the message board or whatever. You know, it's kind of that same thing, man. It would be cool to be able to recap, you know, those tournaments that are going on within our circuit. And then Joe, we also have, with your tournament coming up, you were just talking about how, you know, people were wondering. I know in our state, we're kind of like, oh man, they're talking about possibly a lockdown. They don't want to go to it yet, but in the end, you have your tournament coming up. Everything's still a go, correct?
Everything's still going. I was talking to Benji and you guys before we got live here, and you know, I don't make the decisions obviously for the city of St. Louis, but if those decisions, as of right now, you know, there's leagues, there's tournaments, everything else going on. Nothing's been canceled. Obviously, everyone's got to wear a mask inside businesses and things like that in buildings. But as of right now, everything's a go. If anything changes, you know, that could happen any day. You never know, obviously. But our governor is not, you know, he's not someone he's kind of hesitant, I think, to shut things down. That being said, the mayor of St. Louis is the opposite. And if that does by chance happen, you know, there's a county, St. Charles County, that's just west of St. Louis, and there are other options out there where if that were to happen and we couldn't play in this complex, we can move to another complex about 20 minutes away. So there are other options if that pops up. I don't anticipate a shutdown happening, but you never know. I don't make those calls, so
and such difficult times to make a call as a tournament coordinator, because I see the things that are going on. I don't have that tournament going on this year, but I know what it's like. I mean, there's just a bunch of what ifs and all the plans that have been made, you know, the teams that are committed already. Man, I'll tell you, it's people don't understand, but I'm letting you know right now, if you don't get it, there is so much that goes into running a tournament. And then you have things like this, you know, that just, you got to prepare for everything, you know, because Joe, it's very easy for Joe to just say, hey, it's off. Not happening, but he doesn't want to do that. So going into an alternative location, it's tricky, but all of us want to play, and, you know, we'll make those adjustments. Jeff, on that note, everybody's wondering about the World Series. I know that you had a post where it's like, look, man, this isn't looking too good. I want to be, you know, I want to be transparent about this. You know, I'm not calling it, but you know, it's looking pretty hairy. What do you got for us, man? You got an update?
So California, we were in like phase 2 or phase 3. We ramped all the way back to phase 1. So that, you know, that these viruses are going through the roof and blah, blah, blah. I personally, like, my personal opinion, I don't have any insight, is I think that nothing's going to change until after the election. I don't want to get into politics or anything like that, but Nevada's the same way. They got to be in phase 3 before they allow tournaments. So it's not just having the tournament. So even if Las Vegas says, hey, you guys can have the tournament, well, all these other states have quarantine rules. Like if you are a New Yorker and you come to Nevada, when you return to New York, you got to quarantine for 14 days. So that means you would be asking cops to take, you know, 3 weeks off essentially. So I've already been contacted by like the Toronto guys, and they're saying, hey, man, if we got a quarantine, we're going to be out. Right. So I don't want a watered down World Series. I'd rather not have a World Series than have a crappy World Series, because then I would never want to tarnish the World Series. So ultimately I had to come up with a date that's reasonable. And I think we decided it's going to be August 7th. So if we don't, unless we can guarantee that by August 7th, we can play, these quarantines are going to be lifted and stuff like that, we'll put it down. That way guys aren't, because there's a lot of money involved in the travel and the vacation and things that go along with it. So August 7th is the date. And I guess what kind of resonated with me is I got a text message from Rob Menke, Ohio Lawman. You guys know who he is. And he just talked about, like, hey, even if you could play the tournament and guys could skate around the quarantine rules because it's not technically being enforced, he says, we're law enforcement. We should lead by example. And right now, the last thing law enforcement needs is the press to find out that we're holding a tournament in Las Vegas. All of a sudden, the press is there and they're saying, well, the cops aren't following the rules. These guys are from New York. These guys are from Toronto. These guys are from Jersey. They're from Florida. How come they're playing? Are they going to quarantine when they get back? And now there's heat on these guys at work. So, I mean, I want to play without a specter of any like buddy looking at us like, hey, man, it's like, you guys are under the gun here. I don't want that to be the case at all.
And I think it's a wonderful point because as a tournament coordinator, there's so many more things than just the brackets or what you're going to charge for the entry fee or, the price of the balls. I mean, man, there's so much more that goes into it. And what a great point, because none of us need any extra attention on, things like that, and we're pretty good about like, hey man, it's all right. It's cool, man. Let's go. I need this. Like I need October.
Right.
That's huge for me. I thought about it today, Jeff, actually.
You're not the only one training.
I'm telling you, man, I thought about it before we got on the show and I was like, dude, if October doesn't happen, what now? I mean, that really is a big, look at Benji. I'll put my surgery off for my prostate cancer to after the World Series. I mean, I'll tell you that a lot of people don't understand all that goes into it, but what an awesome legacy, Jeff, that you and Dell and everybody who's participated, your wives, everybody who's made this World Series happen over all these years. What an awesome legacy to be able to go, it is what it is. Benji, you talked about this being a realist. I'm a realist. Hey, on my deathbed, I'm going to look back and go, man, what kind of difference did I make? What did I really do? I know with my family, I know with my kids, what impact I've had, but what did I do outside of that? And what an awesome thing for you to be able to hear what it means to us, these grown men, type A personalities, to go, dude, please, October. I started the show like that, and I didn't plan on that, but I was like, come on, October, come on, October. Awesome to be able to have such an impact in your lifetime, regardless of what you believe in afterlives or anything like that. In this experience of this lifetime, what an awesome thing to be able to put your stamp on as far as making a difference in the world.
Thanks, Trini. I just, I don't want to get into politics and stuff, but I mean, it's like eventually, it's like we're either going to have to stay locked down until they come with the vaccine, or eventually we're going to have to go out and live life. And there's going to be spikes, but I don't know. I don't want the World Series name to be soiled or to be under, because right now, yeah, I mean, I just don't want the press out there saying, look at all these cops playing softball while the rest of us are locked down.
Hey, I got a guy who's a big fan of the police softball circuit, who's actually working on curing this COVID thing. And and they've come a long way, and he's been in the last 5 World Series out in Vegas. And he's been at, every day of the World Series he's there, and his company just this past Monday started human trials on a treatment for the FDA approved it for human trials, and it just started this week, so it's moving along quickly and it's looking promising. So just letting you know, there are it's kind of a race here between a bunch of companies to get to the end and find this cure, this treatment. So
well,
sign me up. I'm the first one to get a vaccine, man.
You stole my thunder, Joe, because I was gonna say it, but now that you kind of maybe had not alluded to the name, I will just say it's extremely close to Joe Monahan. And this man stepped up when it came to me and my cancer, and wanted to step up and like, hey, look here, let me point you in the right direction with some people who are in authority, in this area, to be able to at least give you some input on a different way of looking at things. And this man is at the, he's on the cusp of to be approved by the FDA to be able to do human trials. That's pretty damn impressive, man. That's like I was telling Joe. There's a certain man, Mr. Monahan, that I am, I enjoy seeing him every year in St. Louis. I'm looking forward to it, this year. What are we, 16 days away, something like that?
It's a couple weeks. Yep.
Yeah, something like that. And I will just say that I'm very happy that we have men like that are doing what they're doing to be able to help us on such a large scale. I'm so hopeful for this.
If you never met him, you wouldn't think he did what he did. He's got a ponytail and Fu Manchu, and he walks around all these tournaments wearing the NYPD Blues hat that he got from Torelli.
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Monahan, thank you very much for all that you do. I'm super excited, man. I hope this works out not only for you and your company, but I mean, of course, for the betterment of all of us, you know. We got Thomas Eldridge. Thank you so much for tuning in, brother. You always are a big supporter. East Coast and in Long Island, still a go next Friday and Saturday. I don't know if you saw this, Jeff, but Mr. Blair, always an honor to talk. That's my son. Rick Torelli, it's a shame, but Jeff, you always make the best decisions. He couldn't put it all on the one. It wouldn't allow him to. And Rick also says, congratulations to the Blairs on the wedding and your retirement.
Daughter got married, I retired. Yeah. So.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Wow.
Well,
you guys were able to have an actual wedding, huh?
The day before Newsom shut down the churches, because it's critical that the churches are shut down for whatever reason, my daughter was able to get married in a church.
Awesome, man. That's great. Great news. Congratulations, man.
Protests are still okay. Weddings, churches.
No, we're saying the same things. You're gonna cancel team sports and outdoor activities, but go ahead and continue protesting.
Good to go. Protest. Good to go.
That's a different show. And we do have that show, by the way, but it's coming up. I'll tell you what, we were going to show a few more pictures from a couple of teams. There's one that I like this team name. It's a West Coast 40s. I like this team. Look at these dudes, man. Those guys don't look like they belong in the over 35 or over 40. Those dudes look pretty young, man. Those guys are sharp, man. So Benji, that was your team. When did you play with them?
So we won the Masters World Series, I think 3 years in a row. Gomez put together that team. There's a lot of DEA guys, and now we've picked up a few East Coast guys, but that's a good group right there. That's a good group of guys. And some of those guys, Bankston hasn't played because he's had surgery, but his son, who's in the picture right there, is now a freshman in college. So that's kind of an old photo.
That's awesome, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's awesome. We have a couple of clips also that I want to be able to show. Let's see if we can bring them up real quickly.
Hustle! Get here. Yes, sir.
Turning plays. Let's keep going. This gets me hyped up, man. I like watching these videos because, I've been going to. Yeah,
Toler's not going to be happy you played that.
Toler to do a double play.
And I very rarely see that dude. When he was in San Antonio at our Texas Showdown, that dude didn't get out, man. I never saw him get out. Maybe I missed it, but we got a couple more shots. We'll see a couple more videos. We're going to play those real quickly.
Look. Trying to get fine.
Some hustle right there, man. Hold on, let me show that again. Show Benji hustling. Check this out. Look at this dude get down the line.
Look. Trying to get fine.
What team is that against?
That's only hustle because I missed that ball so bad. That was embarrassing.
Okay, he gets a senior bat.
Yeah, that wasn't a senior bat.
I think we might have one more. I'm not sure. Let me see. Nope, no more.
I don't think a senior bat would have helped that swing there, Benji.
The senior bats have fatter barrels too.
Yeah, that was horrible.
You know what?
Thanks, Trini. You're roasting everybody.
Hey, when you play 400 tournaments a year, every once in a while, you got to bat at bat. That's the way it goes.
He's worse than the Zing bot.
Hey, note to self. From this point on, you better start taking some videos that are good videos and delete the rest and only send me or only allow me to be only allow it to be searchable because we search some of these videos out.
Right.
And, hey, what's online is what's online is what's online, man. I'm sorry.
I didn't
that shit count. My son, Dan goes, he was out. I felt sorry for the old guy. He gave you that one, Benji.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, my son goes, you guys have no idea how much happiness this brings to my dad. Thanks for being here and supporting him. Thank you, son. He's always a big fan. And I put that, we put that on there because he really looks forward to tuning into these shows, because that's how much it means to my family. And I know how many families across the circuit, man. Jeff again, and Dell, and everybody else that helps to put this thing on, man. It means more than you'll ever know. I know it. No matter how much people tell you, it means so much to us. I'm upset that I only found the circuit in 2013. Wish I'd have found out earlier, man. We have
wish we had 1,000 fans like Trip, man. That loyal, you know what I mean?
Yeah. We got one more picture I think we're going to show here. Oh, there we go. Whoa. Just how long has this team been around?
That was last year's Louisville Slugger team that we had put together.
Well, just so you know, there'll be one more to that photo.
Rainey will be in that picture this year.
Hey, Clayton, is that him in the front row wearing a polo shirt?
I don't know what.
That's Hollywood.
That's Hollywood.
Tom Clayton right there. That fits Hollywood.
Wearing a freaking polo shirt like it's a golf game or something.
Yeah,
with sleeves, and it was 106 that day.
It was actually cold that night. It was a little chilly that night.
Well, let me just tell you guys that before we head out, what I'll tell you is that a lot of people send messages throughout the week. They come back because they're working tonight or they got something going on. They watch these videos and they give us a lot of input outside of just what you see, tuning in live. So just so you know, for future reference, man, it's I think it's a great platform, this Police Softball Podcast. I think it's going to complement the website very well. I know, we're working on, Jeff, I know we're working on trying to get somebody to kind of help us out with the message board and the site and things like that. If anybody has somebody that's got some great knowledge, Jeff, I hope you don't mind me putting it out there, but
no, it's fine, yeah.
If anybody's out there with social media that has the ability to work, websites and to be able to help us out with our message board and our site, that's a huge task. I mean, I have a business and I have a website, and it's nowhere near involved as our ps.com site. So that's a huge undertaking. I mean, whether it be one person or a combination of people, please, if you know somebody, please make sure that you reach out to us. You can message us, and we'll put you in contact. And we really would appreciate your support to be able to keep our lines of communication open, because this is obviously a big thing to us. So, hey, Masters Division edition. Really appreciate you guys joining us. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, again, we'll keep our fingers crossed. What's the date again, Jeff, that we're going to find out?
August 7th.
August 7th. We'll make that call, and we'll have you back on to kind of keep us updated. So, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us. Benji, really appreciate it, brother.
My pleasure, Trini. Always happy to be here.
Yeah,
Thanks,
man.
fellas.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys so much. And I will, if y'all don't mind, hold on just for a second. Joe, thank you so much again for joining us. It would have been one of those things where if I couldn't have made it tonight, I know you would have took it. I know you would have taken it by the horns, bull by the horns, and you'd have made it happen. And I appreciate you for that. And again, I've seen some videos, with what you guys do out there, man. And I can't thank you enough. I know everybody out there for holding that line, man. Thank you so much for what you do. It means a lot to me and my family, and you don't hear it enough. I know it, but I'm letting you know tonight. Thank you so much for what you do. Okay, Joe?
Appreciate that, my man.
All right, brother. All right. Well, hey, wraps up another episode. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget about our conference coming up in San Antonio. It's April the 12th through the 14th of 2021. It's going to be an awesome conference. We've got some really cool, there's a really big MMA star that we've got lined up. I'm waiting for confirmation. I'm super excited. We'll put that back up there real quickly. It's going to be a really neat breakout session when it comes to a jiu-jitsu seminar. This guy's very well known in the MMA world. Actually, he was one of the guys that most of us saw when MMA first broke out into the scene. So I'm really excited about that. Hopefully working out. We'll be working that. And we've got another dude that's a part of the Special Forces community who is we're working on coming out and being a part of one of our breakout sessions also. So don't forget, April the 12th through the 14th, Keepers of the Peace First Responders Conference. I promise you, you will not walk out the same way you walked in. It's going to be a huge event, and we're going to concentrate on that mental health, but it's going to be some badass breakout sessions. So on that note, thank you once again for tuning in. This is Trinidad signing off. Don't forget, I got your 6.